What's up, office? It's your boy Lavis. I made back in the home office looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And of course, it's Monday morning quarterback. Not going to be before you long today. We have a very busy day, but I do want y'all to know that I do appreciate you. I do love you. You are cherished. You are loved. You are amazing. Don't forget that if you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. All that stuff, notification bell, everything you have to do. If you don't enjoy the content, thank you for watching. I don't know nothing else to tell you, but thank you for watching. Well, we got a lot to talk about today. We got some good conversation today. We have some important stuff happening in sports. Some big other news. We know the Houston Astros, Dusty Baker has won. Yes, he has won the the World Series. I'm about to say college World Series. I'm thinking about college football, but they won the World Series. This time, I don't think they've been accused of cheating, so that's a great thing about it. And I love this for Dusty, by the way. I really do. I really do. I really do enjoy Dusty Baker. I think Dusty Baker is one of the best managers out there. I think Dusty Baker is amazing. I think Dusty Baker is great. And I think this is good for the city of Houston. I'm trying to get out to Texas, so I do appreciate everything that's going on. I do. I'm trying to get out to Texas, so I do appreciate the Houston winning. And I would love for Houston to win some more. I know basketball they gave up a little bit, but other than that, I love it. Other news that we're gonna get to before we get into the sports takes and the football takes. I said sports, but football. Basketball. LeBron James look older. Steph Curry leads Golden State in every category. Kawhi Leonard has knee management and everything. That what he did. He has knee management and everything. And we got a lot to do. We got a lot to talk about. So let's get into the show. Let's get into some of the results. We got first off, we do got the Eagles. We have the Eagles versus the Texans. Quick recap of the game. Jalen Hurts, 21 for 27, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miles Sanders, 5.5 yards a carry. That's the big thing. 93 yards. Again, this was Thursday night. Unfortunately, I was not here. Shout out to Joe for the being there for it. But in the Texans, we know David Mills didn't have a really good game, but Damian Pierce, good pickup for your fantasy league, had a really good game. He had a really good game. But let's go over some games. Oh wait, what did y'all think about the Eagles game? I think that team is well built. Speaking of, this is the first game of the Sunday ticket that we have. We have a Colts versus Patriots. By the way, the coach Frank Wright has been fired. He's replaced by Jeff Saturday, so that's the good first game to have. And let's see why he got fired. Sam Eckler was 15 for 29, only 103 yards, one interception. He also led the team in rushing for 39 yards. Jonathan Taylor, as you can see, didn't play. Deion Jackson, Jordan Wilkins. Jordan Wilkins from Ole Miss, pretty decent player. 4.3 yards a carry. Probably should deserve some more time. Hopefully, Jeff Saturday can get him in some more. We see Mac Jones. Mac Jones didn't play particularly well, but he didn't play bad either. That's the thing about him. I still think the rookie should start over him. He's a better arm talent. He's more athletic, per se, on the field. It's the difference between like just being faster and quicker than being in pads, being athletic quicker. I think Gates might be better. You see Stevenson he's still doing his thing. 60 yards, 4.4 yards a carry. They didn't really need him much in the second half, so he just got to coast a little bit. Most of it was the defense. If you just look at everything, the defense for them was kind of doing it. You see the pick from Jonathan Jones. You see all the sacks. You see a lot of sacks. You see 3 sacks from Uchi, 3 sacks from Matthew Judon. Shout out to Matthew Judon. You see Bentley, 5 tackles, 3 assists, 1 sack. You see a half sack from Tavai. You see a half sack from Wyatt Jr. Raekwon had his 1 sack, a bunch of sacks, so they did not protect well. And that's probably one of the reasons they decided to get an offensive line coach. A coach who does the offensive line. Get the offensive line right. So they bring in Jeff Saturday. I think it's an interesting move because this is the first time we've seen a player shoot straight into the quarter. He wasn't an assistant coach. He wasn't a former coach. He coached high school. I don't think he didn't coach college. He didn't do what Dion did. Um, I don't think Deion will leave for the pros. I think he might leave for a college team, but I don't know if it's going to be soon. I know a lot of people speculating that he's going to a top 5. Auburn and Nebraska, I'm sorry, I don't feel like it's the move for Deion, right? It doesn't feel like it's the move for Deion, but this is the setup for it. Jeff Saturday is let's see if a player can coach. Jim Irsay is ready to try out something new, something never before done. Let's just put a player in that was a Hall of Fame player for our team, part of a championship team player for our team, and let's just put him in the deep end. Let's see if he swim. I don't mind it. Sink or swim. It's an experiment. If it works, more players will get head coaching jobs right after rip. If it doesn't, it is what it is, and it's just an experiment that quite kind of didn't go right. So let me know your thoughts on Jeff Saturday taking over the coach job after they just got beat 26-3. Matt Ryan didn't play his Sam Eckler, no running game, nothing. The defense gave up a lot of sacks. Get an offensive lineman in there to do what offensive linemen do. And I think that's valuable. Next game up, we got Green Bay and Detroit Lions. A terrible game for Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely terrible game. I want you can watch it with me. We do have Aaron Rodgers 24 for 43, almost only in the 50% of passing, 291 yards. You can say that's decent. 3 picks, 1 touchdown. By the way, 2 of those picks was completely his fault. One of them was like a weird lineman play where he tried to pitch it to the lineman, got picked off. The only play I might give him that might not have been his fault was a Sammy Watkins pick. That was a very interesting interception. You also see that Aaron Jones got injured early in the game. A.J. Dillon. Detroit stopped the run, tried to force him to throw. 43 attempts throwing. Aaron Rodgers did have 40 yards. You see Alan Lazard, 87 yards. He did overthrow him on like 2 or 3 passes when Alan Lazard was wide open. It was a horrible game for Aaron Rodgers. And ultimately, you got to look at it like this. He doesn't have help, as most people assume he wouldn't. But this game particular, I want to just not give him that belt. Like, no, you played horrible. It wasn't that, they didn't have help. You played bad. People got open and you missed them. You made bad decisions with interceptions. It's not on them today. You can say what you want every other day. Today it was on you. We see Jared Goff. Simple game. Jamal Williams, 81 yards. Run the ball. Let him make mistakes. 137 yards. Get the ball in the end zone when you got to. I understand it. He did what he had to do. He did exactly what he had to do. And he got the job done. Let me know y'all thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. What do y'all feel about Aaron Rodgers? How do y'all feel? I wanted to say this on the show. This feels like a new era. It feels like a new era in football where you see the uprising of an amazing game, some amazing talent we saw this week. And we're going to go over them, so I don't want to get into it. But you see a lot of older players struggle more. Tom Brady didn't struggle because he's the GOAT. Even though he did take that back, he did struggle in this game. But he did what the GOAT does and makes these clutch plays. But mostly, other than that, it's the young bucks. Them young boys are playing. Speaking of young boys, he won this game this week. Justin Herbert, 30 for 43, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It hasn't been a good season. Ever since he broke his ribs, he hasn't had a good season. Eckler, they didn't run the ball well. Sonny Michel had that one big 112-yard run. Jordan Palmer played really well for them. He really did. You see some sacks here. They got 2 sacks. True Tranquil did well. You see the Falcons, Marcus Mariota, pedestrian game. Tyler Aguilar, 99 yards. He should probably ran him more, but he the reason they in the game. Cordero passing doing his thing. They ran the ball well. Kyle Pitts, 2 catches, 27 yards. They struggled throwing. They struggled throwing. It's gonna be consistent. It's gonna be a consistent problem for them this whole season. Throwing the ball is going to be a consistent problem for the Atlanta Falcons. So the Chargers got that win. Next, upset of the week. Upset alert. I'm going to make some alert stuff, man. I got to. But upset alert, we have the Bills and the Jets. We have Josh Allen, who played a terrible game. Even though this week I did brag about the young player taking over, this does not help my case. Josh Allen 18 for 34 yards, 205, 2 interceptions. He did run the ball well. He's a very strong runner, but he did not throw the ball very well. Stephon Diggs did what he does, but everybody else kind of struggled. Gabe Davis, you can see Dawson Knox, they didn't do what they normally do. Offense struggled a little more. They couldn't get on track. But shout out to the Jets defense. Zach Wilson didn't make the stupid mistakes he made last week. Maybe enough people got on his head to stop being so cocky and do your thing. Michael Carter was a little more of a surprise. He shared carries with James Robinson. You see that 6.3 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. Usually I expected James Robinson to. We do miss Brees Hall, especially my fantasy. You see Garrett Wilson doing his thing. Them young boys do their thing. You see C.J. Mosley doing his thing, 1 sack, 5 tackles. Sauce Gardner with the big pick. Him and Whitehead had some big plays in that game, but that's Sauce Gardner. He did get beat. I know I can't show the film. I wish I could show film on here, but again, y'all know how the NFL is. But he got cooked on a play by Stephon Diggs, and it was nasty. But he got him back with the win. That's all you can do. This would be so much better thing. But you see Kirk Cousins, 22 for 40, 265 yards, two touchdowns, 2 30s in the pick, and a nice chain around his neck where he celebrated with. See Dalvin Cook, 2.8 yards a carry. Justin Jefferson, 1 catch. Justin Jefferson doing his 7 catches, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Dalvin Cook caught a receiving touchdown. See T.J. Hawkinson already contributed 9 catches for 70 yards. Taylor Heineke, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Brian Robinson Jr., only 3.4 yards a carry. Amari Rodgers had a nice play. Curtis Samuels, 65 yards. And you see Danny Johnson with a good pick. For a game. These two decent teams. Minnesota is 7-1, but I don't put them in the elite category. I really don't. I don't put them in the elite category. I don't. I just don't put them in the elite category. But I do put the Commanders in the elite category. We had the Panthers and the Bengals, and the Panthers decided they was not going to play defense. Baker Mayfield did come in the second half. He did come in with the 2 touchdowns. Phillip Walker had 2 picks. He came in, but again, that was against the second string when the game was out of hand, so I don't know how much to put credit in that. So we'll see if he'd have started, but they 2-7. They ain't going on. Bengals are 5-4. Joe Burrow, 206 yards, had a pretty good game. He was very accurate, 206 yards, but you do see Pirine and Mixon, over 200 yards combined. Joe Mixon with 4 tutties. 4 tutties, 153 yards. T. Higgins did his thing. They trying to figure out their way without, of course, your boy Jamar Chase, but they ran the ball very well, did what they had to do, and got the win against a team that's kind of struggling right now, even though they did beat the Buccaneers, but they're kind of struggling. Raiders, the disappointment team of the year. If I had a disappointment team, it would be the Raiders. Derek Carr played a pretty decent game, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs ran for nearly 4 yards a carry, not bad. Devontae Adams had 146 yards, 2 tutties. So he did his thing, but they still lost because Trevor Lawrence threw to 235 yards, 1 touchdown. Their first round pick, Travis Etienne from Clemson as well, played with Trevor Lawrence. 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence also added 53 yards rushing. See Christian Kirk with 76 yards, Marvin Jones. There was some plays in this game that the Raiders missed, and I think they could have. Like I said, I wish I could show it, so it's not like I'm just reading stats. But it's certain plays in these games I remember. They could have been big. Because I don't like just talking about the highlights. It's some plays that you just miss. They're just big. Oh, Dolphins and Bears. I'm going to show these stats because y'all want to see these. It's a good game. Tua, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. Very accurate quarterback, by the way. That's something that people don't get credit for, even though Tua he's really accurate. Tyreek Hill, another major game, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. He's on his way to break Calvin Johnson's record. You got Jalen Waddle with 85 yards. Again, probably top 3 in the NFL in receiving yards. And they provided most of the 302 yards. That's how they do every week, though. Like everybody else just here. Cedric Wilson only 23 yards, but Cedric Wilson a threat too if you have to stop. Justin Fields played amazing. 17 for 28, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, 178 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Darryl Mooney, he's coming more of a playmaker. Chase Claypool had a drop in the pregame that people made fun of. Then he had a big drop in the game that people made fun of. So, but he gonna get adapted to the team. I think he's gonna play well. I think getting Chase Claypool with Daryl Mooney, maybe and hoping that N'Keal Harris can develop, and with David Montgomery, I think they got to get the offensive line right, and I think they have a future. I think they have a legit future in the NFL. I do. I really do. Geno Smith. Geno Smith making his case for comeback player of the year. Normally that's reserved for injured play. No, I did think he was injured, but 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker the third. This rookie is amazing. 109 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Yo, he hit this sideline. He go and it's just a burst. He got that burst. It's crazy. Tyler Lockett played okay, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. You see DK Metcalf only 37 yards, 1 touchdown, but he got to Noah Fant with the leading yards in 96 yards. You see my boy Nwosa, 2 picks, and Shelby Harris a pick. Shelby Harris is a pretty good pickup for them, by the way. I don't think he's an underrated pickup. Kyle Murray, 2 touchdowns, 175 yards, only 60-yard rush. James Conner, 45 yards. Cardinals need to run the ball more. I do not understand why the Cardinals don't run the ball. They get yards per carry. Everybody gets 3 to 5 yards a carry, but they refuse to run the ball. I do not understand it. That's not even on the stat sheet. I just see it. I just know for some reason y'all do not like to run the ball. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. I don't get it. I need you to please decide to run the ball better. That's all I want. Another game y'all interested in a defensive battle with two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford, 13 for 27, 165 yards, 1 touchdown. Darrell Henderson only 56 yards. Cooper Kupp had a big 80-yard bomb. He threw that on a rope between two people, and Cooper Kupp did what Cooper Kupp do and get open and take off. Tom Brady, 280 yards. He threw 58 passes, 1 touchdown. If we've been honest, it's not the greatest game in the world. But that 1 touchdown was at the end of the game with 30 seconds left. Under a minute left. Or barely over a minute. Well, that depends on how you want to do it. But that's what mattered, right? To Otten. Cade Otten. Do you know who Cade Otten is? Most people don't know who Cade Otten is. And that's not a diss at Cade Otten. Most people don't. I'll tell you a little bit about Cade Otten. He's from the University of Washington. Shout out to my boy Cade Otten from Washington. That's what he is. Because I don't know nothing about, even though I did watch him play in college at Washington a little bit, I don't really know much about Cade Otten. I'm not going to hold y'all. But I just wanted y'all to see how he looked. That's who caught the game went touchdown. Shout out to my boy Cade Otten. Big play. He caught that thing. Malik Willis really struggled. Derrick Henry had a really good game. 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. They shut him out in the second half. I think they got 1 first down. Like, this not up here, but they got, I think, 1 first down in the second half. Chris Jones, I think Chris Jones, Dunlap dominated that second half. They absolutely dominated. And you can see Patrick Mahomes, 446 yards. He threw 68 times. A pick that wasn't his fault. That was on Travis Kelce, who dropped the ball in his hand. 1 touchdown. He had 63 yards, 10.5 yards. They only ran the ball 15 times. As y'all can see, Patrick Mahomes got 1. They cannot get the ball off running, but they also ran some of the strangest plays I have ever seen against the defensive line that was dominating. They were doing like option runs with Patrick Mahomes, and I'm like, y'all are not running Patrick Mahomes. This play is not gonna work. Then they ran a fullback dive on like 3rd and 1 that was awkward. They made up for the next play, but I think Juju caught the ball. Nicole Hartman had a touchdown, but he also had some interesting drops. Sometimes that ball hit him right between the 1 and 7. He dropped it. Kadarius Toney's first game back, two for 12. Juju played big. Travis Kelce played big. I think Tony's gonna be huge for them when he gets healthy. Because Nicole Hartman gotta step his game up, man. Nicole Hartman gotta step his game up. He has to. Tonight we have the Saints and Ravens. Who do I got? My family gonna be there. DeMario gonna be there. It's a big home game. This is so hard. I don't trust the Saints offense. I think Lamar Jackson make too many plays. DeMario gonna have a big game, a lot of sacks. I'm going with the Ravens. I hate to go against family, but I gotta go with the Ravens. Shout out to Mario Davis. I think he's gonna have a big game today. You're gonna see him all on TV on ESPN all day long. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. Let's talk about some college football. Let's go from the bottom up. You have number 25 UCF versus Memphis. UCF won. NC State number 22 versus number 21 Wake Forest. Wake Forest hasn't been playing well. They haven't. Pitt beats Syracuse 20-9. Syracuse fell off. When I was thinking about that, I'm like, Syracuse played so well against Clemson that I almost forgot they was actually good. And then they just fell off. But it might be because we overrated Clemson. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Kansas whooped on Oklahoma State. I know I see Tulane 27-13 right there, but can I talk about how Oklahoma State played absolutely atrocious? They have been horrible lately. That's a talented team that's not playing well. I don't think the defense overall dominant, but getting beat 37-16. By the way, Kansas has been putting a whooping on people, so shout out to them. Tulane beat Tulsa. Shout out to them boys in New Orleans. They said I saw a sign say "Give me Bama." I don't. Maybe you want Bama this year. I think you'll get blowed out, but Bama ain't Bama this year, so maybe. North Carolina beat Virginia in a really good game. I actually watched that one. I was on the road, but I watched it. A lot of the games I couldn't catch. I had to catch them like on the road. So I was because I was on vacation. Y'all see I'm back. Michigan State, Illinois. Illinois ain't really number 16. That was a high ranking anyway, but Michigan State played well. Penn State whooped Indiana. Penn State is one of the good teams. They got Joey Porter Jr. at corner. He can really play. He played very well. Utah beat Arizona 45-20. Texas beat number 24. Texas beat number 13 Kansas State. Texas on the rise. It's three teams I think started off bad. That's coming on strong toward the middle of the season and they all have new coaches. We're gonna talk about the other two, but Texas is one of those teams that I feel like that. They won the team that started off so slow, but picked it up as their coaches getting more involved in the team. UCLA beat Arizona State as expected. USC beat Cal 41-35. That game disappointed me because I feel like now that USC is kind of they disappointed me. They didn't play well. It seemed like the longer the season go, you see these teams like Texas and the teams we're gonna talk about in a minute. I might with some LSU and Notre Dame. You see them getting better. I feel like everybody else catching up to USC. USC had that hot start. Now I feel like teams are catching up to them, and I think that's a real problem with USC. We're gonna talk about that more on Friday Night Lights. We have Oregon, Colorado. Oregon has been on a tear since getting beat 42-3 by the best team in the country. I don't think it's close, Georgia, but ever since then they have been destroying people. 49-10, number 8. I think they overall number 6 in the thing now. I want to see where they are after Tuesday night. We might do a show on the BCS picks. TCU, Texas Tech. TCU won 34-24. LSU beats Alabama in overtime. They win for 2. Got it. This is one of those two teams I was talking about. One of those two teams that all of a sudden you start seeing at the beginning of the season they struggle. They lose a game to was it Mississippi State? They shouldn't have. Then all of a sudden they're getting better. You see their quarterback, the young kid I think he's a redshirt freshman. He is getting exponentially better. He is taking over. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the country the last few weeks. I think he had 300 yards and like 4 touchdowns in like 2 straight games just a few weeks ago. I don't know if it's continuing, but because I didn't, like I said, this is one of the few games, even though it's one of the big games. I was on the road for it. We was actually out eating, so. But I was looking at highlights as I was going, and he looked amazing. I don't know quite his stat line, but he was looking amazing. Michigan 52-17, didn't even have to watch that game. Rutgers not that good, Michigan. The other team I was talking about, Notre Dame, was absolutely atrocious at the beginning of the year. They just whooped Clemson 35-14, which also makes that Syracuse might look like more like a phony after I gave them praise. But Notre Dame look a lot better the last few weeks than they did early in the season. I remember early in the season, people were talking about firing the coach. They were talking about firing the coach. And now they beat number 4 Clemson. Look like the sky's the limit for this team. And I'm looking forward to seeing. Ohio State beat Northwestern in another game. This game actually disappointed me. This makes me say what I'm about to say 100% more effective. You know, I don't think Northwestern is a bad team. But Georgia, number 1, is not close. They beat Tennessee 27-13. The game wasn't even really that close. I feel like Georgia let off the gas and let Tennessee seem like the score better. Georgia has combined 69 to 16 on 2 top 6 teams. There's no other team in the country can say they did any of this. They are 69 to 16 against top 10 ranked teams at the moment. I don't even know if another team got a win over a top 10 team in a month. LSU is the only other team that has a win over a top 10 team. LSU. LSU has a top 10 win over another top 10 team. Who else? Who is beating each other in the top 10? That's the only one. And they did beat 2 of them. You can't even, you shouldn't even put them in the same category for number 1. I beat 2 teams in the top 10 by the combined score of 69 to 16. We was up 20 points against every one of both of them. We let the gas off. The only reason we didn't dominate this team. We let the gas off. And Tennessee is literally a legit top 10 team. Legit top 10 team. I just want y'all to understand how good Georgia is. Put some respect on Kirby Smart. Put some respect on Kirby Smart. I was offended that Tennessee was ranked above Georgia in the first place. Because, again, the same thing happened to me, right? When I was watching this, I had the same feeling. Georgia beat a top 10 team by a lot. And nobody else on the list has. So when they put Tennessee up number 1, I was kind of offended for Georgia. But at the same time, I got it because it don't really matter because we play, so we're going to put a step on it. Georgia's by far the number 1 team in the country. I don't think it's really that close. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. We will be back with Friday Night Lights where I get more predictions. I am going to get my Thursday night football prediction before we get out of here because we won't be here for it. I might give it on another thing, but I'm going to give a little more thought, but then I'm going to give my quick prediction for week 10, Panthers at Falcons. It's going to be the game of Thursday night football. I got the Falcons win. I think the running game too strong. Might give more detail in a short, like a minute short, but that's what I got. I appreciate y'all. Remember, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hope to have more conversation. But I do appreciate y'all for liking the content and enjoy it. And of course, we ain't did in a minute, so we have to leave with your boy Cam Newton telling you the truth that you need to hear.
This morning's devotion, I was reading about Moses, and God spoke to Moses in the desert. Where we at? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
You understand what he's saying? I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.